Hello everyone. I hope you're having a happy new year so far because it is 2020 right now. It is January. It's almost February in a few weeks. So time's moving fast, but maybe time is starting to be a good thing. I don't know where I was leading with that, but let's talk about the thing in question, national treasure. Now, before we get to the topic at hand, I want to give you a little brief connection like I have with National Treasure right now. So, National Treasure is a very special film to me because before National Treasure, I was actually getting into history. In third grade, like I read this book called America's Story. I read it and I loved it. Like I was so interested, like infatuated with history, like with America, like all of its leaders, the events surrounding each event and how significant they are. I was really interested in it in third grade. And also, coincidentally, there was also a trip to Washington, D.C. in third grade. I remember the day still. Like, you go on the bus, like, we're driving all the way there, it's like 2 hours. But during the way, they put on a movie, and the movie was National Treasure. Now, I never seen the film before at that point, so I was interested, especially because of the score. Like the DVD menu, I still remember them playing that. The DVD menu was already hooked me in with the score, like like it looks like an action kind of film. I was like, interesting, and I see it, and I'm like, my God, this is awesome. Like, I really loved the film. Like, the film was so cool. Like, I love National Treasure because of its, like, how the story is tied to, like, historical events and people and all of that. Like, they have some adventure to look for some item. Like, I always find that interesting. That's what I like about Indiana Jones, and that's why I like Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, they're like action adventure movies, and I love those types of films. Like, they're just so fun to watch and enjoy. Like, they really are pretty cool to see. Like, you could just pop them in, get a bunch of popcorn, and you'll love them all. Like, that's what I love about the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy. That's what I like about the Indiana Jones films, and that's why I like National Treasure 1 and 2. And there was a sequel for National Treasure, which came out in 2004, but the sequel, National Treasure The Book of Secrets, came out in 2007. Now, I saw this film, and I also like it, even if it does seem a little too similar to the original, but I still like it. And apparently this outgrossed the original, actually, but it makes it a little more surprising that they didn't follow it up with the sequel, like, immediately. Because ever since then, National Treasure 3 was in the dark for ages. Like, it really was. Until recently. Recently, or January 17th, there were talks of a National Treasure 3. Now, let's go to my phone and I'll read out the information. So, it says a third National Treasure film is in the works at Disney with Bad Boys for Life, which just came out recently. Chris Bermner, who was writing a screenplay. Now, this is like just came out of nowhere. I was upstairs, like, it was like around 11. I was about to go to sleep. I was looking at Twitter, and then suddenly it says National Treasure 3 trending. And I was like, let's check it out. So I check it out, and my jaw dropped when they say they're working on it. I'm like, what? Because like there was no follow up to Book of Secrets for like ages at this point. Like it's been like what, 13 years now? Like there have been talks of the third film for ages. Like, oh, supposedly it's in the works, or I forgot how like the things work. It says there have been some little chat with Jerry Buckenheimer or whatever, with the production, or maybe Nicolas Cage. Like there's always some kind of thing, but nothing. But there was no ground for National Treasure 3. It's always been in the dark. I was really thinking, I guess they're not gonna make National Treasure 3, because if they were going to make a National Treasure 3, they would have done it by now. Like it's been a decade, now almost 2 decades since the sequel came out. Now that there's news that it's in the works, I'm very hopeful that they will have some kind of agreement for a film, and then we'll get National Treasure 3. And that makes me very excited because, like I said, I love how they have historical connections and all that. And I like it how, like, with the first one, it was connected to, like, the American Revolution. The second one, it was, like, more connected to, like, the Civil War, because of the whole, he has to clear his father's name, that, his father was, like, connected with Confederates, so he was like, I'm gonna clear my father's name. So, there's that. Like, I'm hoping for the third movie, they don't do, like, clearing his father's name again. Like, we already had that twice. I feel like a third time's a charm is gonna get annoying, just like how, with Star Wars, like, there was a Death Star, then the Return of the Jedi, there was a second Death Star. I was like, okay, fine, that's good enough, just no more. But then Force Awakens, they had a third Death Star, and that was when they were really pushing it a bit too far. And then I'm gonna stop right there. But anyway, I just don't want them to do like the same thing again. Like, I'm fine with them borrowing elements from like the previous movies, but please just don't do the same thing again. Just don't. I'm also curious, like, what are they gonna do with this third one? Because like it's been a while, and you know a lot has happened since. So I'm kind of curious how it's gonna be. You know, in our current time. Maybe our current time won't be affected by it. I'm not expecting them to be like, all right, it's gonna take place in now, something related to Trump. Like, I doubt that. It's probably gonna be something like way back when. I'm kind of hoping for something around like the 60s, because I've always been interested and infatuated with the 60s. So I'm kind of wishing for that, but I find that a bit unlikely. Probably something probably farther back, maybe 1800s. Maybe they'll do another thing connected to the Civil War, or maybe they'll connect it to World War II. Maybe they'll have something connected to the Nazis, or maybe FDR. Maybe they'll have something connected to Richard Nixon, you know, about his whole Watergate thing. Maybe they'll have that. Like, there really are some cool ideas they could go off here. My teacher even pointed out how, you know, with the George Washington painting, there's like so much stuff in there, like you can notice. Like, he said he was surprised they didn't make a National Treasure film about that painting, because maybe, like he said he was surprised about it, because there's like so much little details like they could use for the film. And you know what? He kind of is right. Maybe they could use that. I mean, I'm just excited to see how this could go. Like, I'm wondering where the adventure will be this time. With both films, there was one where he took the Declaration of Independence. There was one where they kidnapped the president. So where are they going to go from here? Like, I'm really wondering what's next. Like, what crazy stuff is going to happen here? Because, like, where can they go from there? Thinking about it now, like, where could they go from here? Like, are they going to take an entire building? I mean, that seems the next logical course. They stole the Declaration of Independence, so what are they going to do? Are they going to steal the Constitution? I don't know. Like, there's so many possibilities here, because history is full of interesting stories. Like, people may not like history, but, like, there's so much interesting stuff that has happened over the years, and you know what? Like, let's see what they can do. Here's also another thing I'm excited about. Like, the whole Bad Boys thing, like, they're apparently making a fourth one now. That got me thinking, are they going to make a fourth National Treasure after this? Or is this going to be like the final one? Personally, I want more National Treasure films. Maybe this is a bit selfish, but like, I love the National Treasure films. Like, there's so much history to divulge in there. There's so much material they can use. Like, you can use like 2 or maybe even 3 trilogies out of it. Like, maybe they could complete this trilogy, see how this goes, and maybe they'll like move on to the next trilogy. Maybe just 2 trilogies. Like, I really am curious how this is going to go. And I'm also like wondering if everyone from National Treasure is coming back. Like, Nicolas Cage, who's like basically the one everyone knows from National Treasure, Ben Gates. Like, he is the face of this of the films, so he's obviously coming back. But I'm wondering if like the other characters are coming back. Like, I haven't seen the film in a while, so I don't remember their names. I'm wondering if they're coming back. Most likely they will, but anyway, like, that's all I have to say in terms of speculation, because like there's really not much to speculate on. It's in the works right now, so I'm very excited for this film. Hopefully we could get a film in at least a few years. Like, you know, until in the meantime, Indiana Jones 5 is gonna come out like pretty soon, like maybe like a year or something. So hopefully this goes well. I'm really hoping for National Treasure 3. And are you guys excited for National Treasure 3? Like, give me your thoughts in the comments. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and see you later. Bye.